Ms. Taylor, Dr. Pack, we've got a recording sign, so whenever you guys are ready.
We're having technical difficulties. Please do not adjust your set. Change the rabbit ears on your TV.
We good to go? Okay. I'd like to call tonight's meeting of the Deer Valley Governing Board to order at 7:05. Let the roll call show that all board members are present. Dr. Zurbach, would you be so kind as to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence? Thank you. If there's no conflicting motions, I'd like to make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Hold on a second. With the caveat that in the consent agenda, we remove item D as it's a duplicate from item C.
So moved.
I move that the government,
Okay, let's dispense of this motion first, and then if we don't want to approve the agenda just yet because there's other motions, then we can do that. Sound good? Okay, so we have a motion and a second to delete D. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
aye,
okay, now, did you have another motion? Yes. Okay,
thank you. I move that the governing board approve consent agenda items 4A through 4R, with the exception of 4C, G, and 4C, 4G, and 4Q, which are going to be moved for separate consideration at adoption of agenda.
Second.
so, hold on a second, we can't approve, so you want to remove C, G, and Q from the consent agenda?
4A through 4R,
Or,
with the exception of 4C through 4G.
okay, so,
Okay. C, so remove C through G and Q for separate consideration.
okay,
Okay,
minus D, because we deleted it.
right, minus D.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I would like to discuss, not that there's anything wrong with discussing things, and we've done this really well so far this year. I guess my concern is some of these policies that are looking to be removed, there's, I believe, the word "she" in one of the policies. Nobody has asked any questions regarding any of the policies, save BBBA since the last meeting. And so I'm just concerned that we might be having a round-robin discussion for what useful purpose, I don't know, since nobody's bothered to ask any questions of the administration besides BBBA. And that would be my only
did
2
ask-
cents.
I did ask a question on G. I emailed a question and got an answer,
Okay,
so I have a follow-up question.
And for the record, I did have I had a question on one of them, but that issue has been resolved, so I'm no longer seeking what was presented earlier.
okay. That's all. Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. Hearing no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No, excuse me.
Yeah, clarify what the vote is.
Okay, so what we're voting on right here is to change the consent agenda to remove items C through G, including Q, to be discussed separately. Is that a good?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So that, I'm sorry, can you resend that back over to me? I got fat fingered there. Can change my vote, please? Nay, please.
And my computer's still not working, so aye for me, please.
Are you voting, Mr. Botfeld?
I'm used to things failing on a 3-2 vote or a 4-1. But it's problematic when a board member votes, another board member shoots them a look and they change. Board members have a right to pull things off a consent agenda. And it's a violation to not allow them to be pulled off a consent for discussion. Just want to make that
I
point.
wanted to
Thank you for your point.
clarify.
Yes, Ms. Semichek?
There was confusion on the yes and no vote. I wanted to clarify what a yes vote was and what a no vote was, and that is what we clarified. We had it read again and explained. That's all that happened.
Not at all.
Thank you, Ms. Semichek. Okay, moving on. Correct, Mrs. Taylor? Okay. Item 2A, district reports, unlocking potential, the power of summer learning. Dr. Galligan.
Good evening, President Carter, members of the board, Dr. Finch. Tonight I'm pleased to share the story of DVUSD's 2025 summer program. These programs went beyond academics to promote students to provide students with opportunities to build confidence, spark their curiosity, and stay connected to learning. From enrichment camps and gifted experiences to intervention programs and online coursework, students across the district benefited in ways that supported their growth, strengthened their family, and prepared them to begin the new school year with some momentum. The purpose of this presentation is to highlight how DVUSD's summer programs reduce learning loss, support student growth, and strengthen those partnerships, ensuring students are prepared and confident for the new school year. Hold tight, we're kind of going off with our presentation because the third slide is really cool and I want you all to see it. There we go. This is a cool slide. This summer, DVUSD delivered a wide range of programs that made a measurable impact for students and families. Over the course of 57 days from May through August, students participated in over 2,200 hours of learning and fun across 41 unique offerings, serving over 4,800 students. To support our students, more than 46,000 meals and snacks were provided throughout the summer. Academically, students earned back 40 middle school grades and either recovered or newly earned 2,230 high school credits, ensuring they stayed on track for both promotion and graduation. Together, these efforts highlight how DVUSD extends opportunities beyond the school year to ensure our students are engaged, supported, and prepared for success going into the new school year. We'll wait for the next slide. This year, due to budget constraints, the Jumpstart Intervention Program was consolidated from 8 campuses to a single site at Paseo Hills Elementary and served Title I students only. Even with this change, the program supported 160 students in grades 1 through 6, providing intervention for students who are near grade level and need just a little extra support, as well as intensive literacy intervention in grades 1 through 3 for students with significant reading needs. The focus remained on reading and math growth, and parents shared their appreciation in that quote at the bottom, one noting the reason we sent him to summer school was to improve on reading and math, and he loved his teacher. This summer's success was strengthened by both community and parent partnerships. Raising Cane's generously provided free kid meal certificates for every student, celebrating their hard work and growth. Teachers also partnered closely with families by sending personalized emails to every parent individually, sharing their child's academic progress, their data, and positive feedback. One sixth grade family, for example, learned that their child improved from a 6% to a 61% in math and 10% to 100% in reading. Remarkable growth made possible through daily encouragement and strong intervention strategies. The Jump Start program not only supported students, but also provided valuable teacher training, and this was the coolest new thing this year for this program. This summer, 25 teacher prep program teachers shadowed and worked alongside 25 certified teachers, creating a 1-to-5 teacher-to-student ratio and fostering strong mentorship opportunities. The results were impressive, and you can see those there. Students showed significant growth from pre to post assessments, with math scores rising from 35% to 72%, ELA from 59% to 79%, and notable gains across DIBELS measures in first through third grade boost. Our students grew an average of 25.5 points, demonstrating the powerful impact of high-quality instruction paired with intensive support. These are amazing numbers for just 3 weeks of intervention. Since 2020, Jumpstart has been offered as a no-fee program, ensuring access for students and families across all 5 regions of the district. Each year, results demonstrate positive learning outcomes that help students enter the next grade better prepared for on-level content, and this summer was no exception, except we were narrowed down to 1 campus. Our DIBELS results for 2nd and 3rd graders showed steady growth in decoding, word recognition, and oral reading fluency, while pre- and post-test revealed significant gains in math, and you can see there 35% to 72%, and as I mentioned, ELA 59 to 79%. The 95% boost program for grades 1 through 3 grade students also produced strong results, with overall averages increasing by more than 26 points. While these outcomes highlight the lasting impact of focused, no-cost intervention, budget challenges, as I've mentioned, require the program to be reduced to a single site this summer. The EL Writers Workshop served 96 English language learner students in grades 1 through 5 using the Azella writing rubric. 43% of students improved by at least 1 language proficiency level. Teachers highlighted the power of small group instruction, noting significant growth in student writing skills and the chance to refine their own practice. One teacher shared students who could not write sentences before are now able to do so. The EL Writers Workshop for grades 6 through 12 served 26 English language learner students from across our whole district. Using the Azella writing rubric, 58% of these students improved by at least 1 language proficiency level. Teachers emphasized not only the academic gains, but also the strong relationships built, noting that connecting with students early fostered comfort, confidence, and a positive classroom culture where differences were valued this summer. From June 2nd through July 3rd, Vista Peak School hosted Deer Valley's Extended School Year, or also known as ESY, that program, providing eligible K through 12 students with disabilities continued support beyond the regular school year. Focused on maintaining critical learning skills and addressing regression and recoupment, the program delivered specially designed instruction along with nursing, therapy, transportation, and free meals, all through strong collaboration across departments and at no cost to families. The extended school year served 115 students, most in grades 1 through 5, with over half qualifying for critical learning skills and 40% for regression recoupment. Students were supported by a dedicated team of teachers, paraprofessionals, nurses, and specialized service providers, with 63% of our ESY staff returning for continuity. Staff praised tools like sensory walls for keeping students engaged, while our families reported a 100% satisfaction with transportation services. Woot woot! Highlighting both the accessibility and effectiveness of this program. From June 2nd through 5th, West Meck hosted 235 students at its hands-on summer career camp for incoming 6th through 8th graders. Deer Valley Unified School District had the largest turnout with 62 students across 3 campuses. Throughout the week, campers explored a variety of career pathways and post-event surveys showing 100% of participants enjoyed the experience. And we are so proud that our campus always has interested students and families in this program. In addition, this past May, 283 students from inside and outside of Deer Valley came together for our third annual Taipei Chinese Culture Camp, a week filled with art, cooking, exercise, and dance. They explored Taiwanese traditions, built friendships, and ended with a graduation showcase for families. It was a celebration of learning, connection, and cultural understanding. Our Taipei Cultural Camp was enriched by the incredible support of our high school volunteers, who helped guide younger students through hands-on activities while modeling leadership and service. Highlights of the week included the traditional fan dance, Chinese yo-yo, which is a student favorite, and an energetic dragon dance, all of which brought Taiwanese culture to life through movement, rhythm, and joyful expression from all. DVUSD's full-day gifted camp, Survivor, invited incoming 1st through 8th grade students to Union Park Elementary for a week of themed adventure and enrichment inspired by the popular Survivor TV show. Campers worked in teams to tackle challenges that built critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. With engaging in cool courses like tribal challenges, Lego adventures, spy unit, and coding adventure, students unleashed their inner victors through hands-on learning and outdoor fun. We also had a second gifted camp. This gifted summer camp offered an exciting full-day experience for incoming 1st through 8th grade gifted students, also at Union Park Elementary. Campers tackled simulated missions and team-based challenges designed to level up their critical thinking and creativity through courses like Quest for the Lost Treasure, Games Galore, and Mind Over Matter Brains. Provided at no cost to students from DVUSD Title I schools, this engaging camp ensured access to advanced enrichment tailored to our gifted learners. DVUSD Gifted Camp saw exceptional growth this summer, with 454 students enrolled in Survivor and Quizzes and Quests. That is a 15% increase over last summer and nearly double the participation from the 22-23 school year. Parents called it the best camp experience their child has ever had, praising the meaningful activities, engaging teachers, and positive social environment. As one family shared, and you can see it there, I didn't expect her to grow into herself like this. We are beyond impressed and very grateful. Community Ed's Summer Rocks camps were designed to make learning exciting by immersing students in hands-on, high-energy experiences across dance, science, art, crime scene investigations, and music. Whether experimenting in science rocks, creating in arts rocks, investigating in CSI rocks, or performing in dance and or music rocks, campers were engaged, inspired, and encouraged to discover what truly rocks them for the summer. Each program blended fun with learning, giving students memorable opportunities to explore their passions, build confidence, and connect with friends in a fun learning environment. That rocks, as Dr. Zerbach says. DVUSD enrichment programs offered students a range of meaningful summer opportunities, from academic growth in ACT Boost Camp and practical skills in driver's ed, which is always a wait list for that program, to physical education and teamwork in karate and cheer. Each program supported confidence, engagement, and readiness for the year ahead. Parents praised the Community Education Summer Program for its thoughtfully planned field trips, caring staff, and the peace of mind it provided their families. Many highlighted the unforgettable experiences their child had each day and the positive impact the program made on both learning and confidence, with several sharing they will definitely be back next summer. This summer, the program served 964 K-8 students and 55 preschoolers, supported by 125 dedicated staff members. Students enjoyed 8 field trips and 8 guest presentations and daily support through free lunches at Paseo Hills and Norterra Canyon, along with snack packs provided by Deer Valley Education Foundation, and we thank Marie for that. In June and July, making it a truly sensational experience for our DVUSD families. Now here's the cool thing, you're gonna listen to all the things they did. Field trips focused on providing a variety of experiences for our students, and they included the Anthem Water Park, the Music Instrument Museum, or the MIM, Great Skate, our very own Theater Rocks, Madagascar and Shrek programs, bowling, moving theaters, Ninja Nation, and Jake's Unlimited. Guest presenters included Fantastic Fire, Jungle Jill, Danceworks, an author, Debbie I've practiced this last name and I still can't get it right. Norotny. Something like that. I'm just going to call her Debbie N. An interactive circus came to campuses and the AZ Science Center, along with a music DJ. Also, in partnership with Southwest Behavioral Health Services, DVUSD hosted a Skills and Strategy Summer Camp, which is an ongoing camp for us each year, at the elementary, middle, and high school levels. At Constitution Elementary, 37 students focused on mindfulness, coping, and social skills. At Deer Valley Middle School, 14 students worked on regulation, decision-making, and conflict resolution. And at Barry Goldwater High School, 15 students explored healthy relationships. We are glad for this partnership, which we have had for, I believe, 6 or 7 years now, because it provides valuable support for our students both during the year and through the summer. Let's get into some academics. Aspire's summer academic programs provided flexible, high-quality learning options for middle and high school students through both hybrid and online formats. The middle school hybrid summer school enrolled 32 students, with 31 successfully promoted to the next grade level, achieving a 97% pass rate. This number is decreased because in previous years, since 2020, we've had it as a no-cost option for our families. We were not able to offer that this year. At the high school level, the online summer session 1 served just over 1,000 students, enrolled in 1,588 courses. It was a banner summer program year for us, the most we've ever had, earning 1,456 credits with a 92% passing rate. An online pilot summer session 2, which was July into the beginning of the school year to August 18th, enrolled 160 students, enrolled in 167 courses, earning 156 credits, also with a high 93% passing rate. Based on strong student feedback and successful course completion, Aspire plans to expand the number of offerings in session 2 next summer. In addition, our high schools offered in-person course extension and credit recapture courses serving 240 students across 25 classes. To date, students have earned 172 semester credits with 75 to 100% passing rate for each of our schools, with final results still being tallied. Together, both pathways, which was shrunk just a bit this summer, but still had a vibrant, robust group of children attend, as well as 446 credits earned and a 94% passing rate. That helped our kids stay on track for graduation and long-term success. I thought I'd give you just a little bit of a multi-year perspective this year. This chart shows enrollment trends across our summer programs from 2022 through 2025. Overall participation remains strong, with notable growth in several areas such as community education, their sensational programs, gifted camps, as I've mentioned, and high school online courses. At the same time, we see shifts in a few programs due to funding challenges. Specifically, Jumpstart Intervention experienced a significant decline this summer, moving from 8 schools down to just 1 for our Title I students. The reduction was the direct result of ESSER funding expiring and the M&O, Maintenance and Operations Override, not passing in 2024. These supported and sustained this intervention program. Despite this, other fee-based opportunities and academic supports have remained robust, and our gifted camps and Aspire's online programs have shown steady increases over the years. This is a group of beautiful people. Behind every successful summer program is a tremendous team effort. This year, Deer Valley's summer team opportunities were made possible through the collaboration of multiple departments working together to support students and families, from community education, Aspire, CTE, gifted EL, and immersion programs to the vital services provided by finance, payroll, HR, IS&T, facilities, transportation, food and nutrition, and student support services. Every group played a key role. Additional support from CIA, our communications department, ALS, graphics and materials and distribution, ensured our programs ran smoothly and effectively. This photo collage represents the collective commitment of all of these teams, showing that summer success truly is a district-wide achievement. As we look ahead to summer 2026, our goal is to build on this year's successes while continuing to expand opportunities for students and families. On the enrichment side, we will look to grow our Summer Rocks camps, exploring new camps based on students' interests and strengthening partnerships with our community organizations to provide even more unique experiences. For intervention programs, we will work towards sustainable funding to expand the Jumpstart Intervention Program as much as possible. Continue engaging our TPP teachers. It was such a successful year for that, in job-embedded professional learning and creating more opportunities for family involvement so that learning extends beyond the classroom. And in our academic programs, Aspire's hybrid and online models will continue to expand, especially in summer session 2, offering greater access and additional course options for our students. These initial plans will allow us to meet the diverse needs of our students and families while keeping summer a time for growth, exploration, and success. If you can believe it, every year we begin planning for summer programming in December. It's around the corner. DVUSD summer programs provided far more than a bridge between school years. They offered meaningful opportunities that ignited, as I've mentioned, student curiosity and supported their families for childcare over the summer and built confidence across every grade level. As I've mentioned, each of those programs really work together in a cohesive whole to support learners in all of the regions and areas of our district. I just want to thank you for supporting summer learning in Deer Valley and thank all of the educators and leaders who participated this year for summer programming. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Galligan. Any comments for Dr. Galligan on the presentation? Ms. Simicek.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. It's really exciting to see our district can continue to grow and offer such wonderful programs for our students. I firsthand experienced this with my children. My oldest actually made the slide. She volunteered for the Dance Rocks camp with Miss L at Barry Goldwater and just had a blast doing that volunteer work and dancing with that little girl on there. They did a solo. And then ESY, everyone knows my daughter's very active in that program. It is very disappointing to see the cuts are really truly affecting the Jumpstart program, because I also have seen that program work very hard firsthand in helping improve children's and closing those gaps. And it's really unfortunate to me that that's happening, because it is a wonderful, successful program. And I'm sure you guys are working so hard on grants and things to try to get that going. But anything you need, please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simicek. Anybody else? I just, okay, Mr. Bodfeld. Mr. Bodfeld gave a thumbs up. I had commented at the last meeting about how I think y'all look forward to the school year, because I think it's probably a pace for you compared to the summertime. And with this information that you shared with us tonight, I just want to repeat what I mentioned last time with the amount of enormous work and enormous good that by the administration in this district for the children in the district. And thank you, Dr. Galligan, for everything. Appreciate you. Next item of business is item 3A. Dr. Pack.
I move that the governing board accept the administration's recommendation to pre-approve the as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Simicek. I have nothing further to add to the agenda versus what was presented last time. Is there any discussions or questions from anybody?
I have some questions about that item.
Okay.
I actually kind of stumbled across these questions just out of curiosity, because I've been to the Solution Tree training, and I'm like, oh, I got to click on this and see if they're going to go. And so my question is about the staff out-of-state travel requests. And again, I was more out of curiosity because I have been to some of those trainings. And I'm like, oh, what if they're going to see this amazing person, Dr. Sharon Kramer? And so,
Dr. Pack, we're on item 3A, the School Board Association political agenda. Is that what you're speaking on? It's the lobbying platform for the ASBA.
did I miss the first
If you're
section?
speaking on the right topic, I apologize. It just sounded like maybe you were discussing the out-of-state approval request, which is farther into the meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you have anything for the political agenda?
I do not. Just kick me when it's time to talk about
No,
that one.
it's no problem. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mrs. Taylor. Item number 4, Dr. Pack.
Can't, this computer's still not working. Let me just look at my phone.
Oh, before you get started, I apologize. I've been derelict. For those of you at home, we know that the video is not working. We apologize for that. All of the documents and presentations that are being discussed tonight are in board docs, and you can see them if you go to the agenda. The recording will be available later on, though there will likely not be any video on the recording even later, but you will have the audio to review if need be. But I do apologize for any inconvenience. Our IS&T department's working through that, but we are aware that there is no video. I apologize for the inconvenience. Okay, Dr. Pack, now when you're ready.
I'm saying this now. I move that the governing board approve consent agendas items 4A through 4R with exception of 4D, which was removed at adoption of agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Well, because we weren't allowed to pull items off, because there's hidden things in the agenda, because there's,
It's a year. Name,
appropriate.
Mrs. Fisher, consent
No,
agenda
it is
is
not.
not for discussion.
well, it is for discussion because we're
It sounds like it's a
board.
nay.
And so,
Do you have everybody's vote, Mrs. Taylor?
Nay.
so as soon as I get to finish saying that they are hiding stuff
We
in the
don't
agenda.
discuss the consent agenda, Mrs.
We're not
Fisher, you know
discussing
that.
it.
You've been doing this long
We're
enough.
not discussing it. I have been doing
You're
this a
out of
long
order.
time.
You wanted to bring out points
You're
of
out of
order
order.
earlier. You're out of order. Can you please cast your vote so we can move on?
Can I finish speaking?
No, this isn't for discussion.
No, well, you're right. I'm not discussing it. I'm explaining my vote.
You don't
which
get
I
to
have a
explain your
right
vote
to
during a
do.
consent agenda. There's nothing to
Absolutely I do.
explain. That's
don't
what
get to
happens
make
during
the
the
rule.
discussion time. I'm not making the rule.
Mr. Carver.
This is a well-founded policy.
I can. It is well founded that I can explain my vote.
Well, you can do a
And
lot
I
of
am
things, but you're
explaining my
grossly
vote.
out of order, Mrs. Fisher.
You
So
are out of order,
we're
Mr. Carver.
moving on to item 5A. Thank you. Dr. Pack?
No, I did not vote. Do not vote for me. I did not vote.
Abstain.
No, I didn't abstain. I'm not allowed
Sounds
to
like a
vote.
3-1,
I'll
0.
send it to the Attorney General.
Thank you. Item 5A, Dr. Pack?
I move that the governing board accept the administration's recommendation to pre-approve the addenda as presented.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Not yet. That'll be 5B. You want to discuss travel?
Right,
That's
right,
5B.
thank you.
Okay, so any discussion on 5A?
It continues to have student activities, paying for salaries.
Stephanie? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Item 5B.
I move that the governing board approve all employee professional development out of state per governing board policy GCCE.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Would anybody else like to discuss it before I discuss it?
No, but we're very excited to listen to your discussion.
So I'll try to keep it short. I went down a rabbit hole because I was excited about this because I've been a Solution Tree training. They have great trainers. And I'm going to do another shout out for Dr. Kramer. You get her, you're going to be gold, Dr. Kramer. So, but then when I started poking around the staff out of state travel request, and I was on the Solution Tree website, I was very curious as to what the collaborative PLC experience is, because those are none of the options that you can click on, select to see the agenda. So I don't know if it's like a private affair or something that's not open to schools to click on and purchase or attend. So that's the first question. What is the collaborative PLC experience that these two people would like to go see out of state?
Yeah, Paul, Dr. De Monterto was not here. She wanted to know.
can answer.
Dr. Gallen, do you know that one, or Dr. Z?
President Carver, Dr. Pack, yeah, I can answer a bit of that. So, you know, Dr. Pack, that Lincolnshire is the site where
Incubator.
where the DeForest started the experience, and so one of the offerings that they do is for visiting districts to come see how they actually do their PLC at their district, if that makes sense, right? As
Yes.
opposed to you going to a site and receiving like a training from a presenter, you'll actually will see their folks in their district and they'll be going through how they do it. And so that's the collaborative experience that you can go to.
Okay, next question. I'm just
And
curious.
it's very valuable, Dr. Pack, I would add. I've been there for part of it in the past. It's a very good experience.
Okay, thank you. The next question was, I'm just trying to understand, and maybe if I don't understand, other people might not. How is the lodging $1? Then there's meals with an amount, and then there's registration, $1, and then transportation. So how is the lodging and the registration basically free?
That's just
President Carver, Dr.
That's a
Pack.
marker. Yep.
Yes, it's a marker point. Not all of it is going to be charged to us, but you have to have a dollar amount in there, and so that's why you see $1 for that. I do know that some of this has been paid for. Dr. Finch, you may remember it was either a grant that Solution Tree is providing to us or another source. Dr. D could put that in a update for you, but I know that the cost to us is minimal compared to the actual cost that it is to attend this PLC experience.
Okay, and then another question. When I was poking around the website, I discovered that our two Christinas that would like to go are actually, I guess, employed by Solution Tree. So, because you can click on them and request availability for them to come and talk to your school, like maybe our school would want to have them come, my school where I work. So I'm kind of confused, and maybe somebody can clear it up, why the district would pay for district employees to go to something where these people work at there. Like, we're paying for, does that make sense? Like, they work there
No.
in some capacity.
They're well, you can jump in if you want, but we have actually a lot of employees
Yeah,
that probably half of Solution Tree is run by Deer Valley in the Phoenix area. We have a lot of people that are, maybe a better word would be consult, is how you could say is how we share our expertise with other schools. So everybody's wants to know how Deer Valley's doing it because we're a model district, one of 11 in the nation. And so we have different people in our machine that are available to go help other districts. So consultant would be a better word.
Consulting, thank you. Okay, well, a couple more, sorry. So, consulting, I do want to, great, thank you for that clarification. I do want to point out that people may not know, Arizona now has recently, they've opened up Solution Tree in Arizona. So I'm excited that we can go to there in February, actually, I think it's February 24th, there's a summit on PLC at work here in Arizona. So you wouldn't have the travel expenses. I'm just a little teeny bit concerned about sending people out of state because it says that the way this is being paid for is the M&O. When I clicked on that attachment, maintenance and operations, and right now, since our maintenance operations dollars are dwindling and we're hopeful that the override passes, if it doesn't, these are dollars that we don't have extra to spend of, so going out of state at this point in October, right before the election, November, a little concerning.
And I can speak to that too, President Carver, Dr. Pack. We too share that concern, Dr. Pack, as far as how that works. Actually, in our cabinet meetings, we have a document that has a list of criteria that we go through for out-of-state requests, and that criteria would guide us as far as how we would make a decision whether to approve that going before you or not to go before you. One of the pieces that we certainly consider is the notion of how to have folks train others rather than sending, say, 50 employees to this particular group. Instead, we want to take the approach, can we do one or two, as you're seeing in this case, and then those folks can come back, right, and spread it to a number of employees that are here within our district.
Understood. And then one more. It's on the other out-of-state. And with Heather Mock going, I did click on that agenda. There's all kinds of stuff. You're going to get fire hose information, I think. But if you're able to pick and choose, if I was you, I would love that you would pick engaging communities and school finance, because I think that would really help our district. So that was my plug for which one I think you should pick. That's all my questions.
Duly noted, Dr. Pack, and that is an extreme interest of mine and some of the goals that I'm working on with Dr. Finch as well. So I appreciate that.
That's on October 21st.
Any further discussion from the board? Any further discussion?
No.
Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? She didn't audibilize. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, item 6A, Dr. Galligan and/or Dr. Finch.
I think I drew the short straw. Remember, just as a precursor, that most of these changes are related to ASBA consolidating their new lawyer, giving them new advice, and they're consolidating a lot of their policies. So they'll be coming every meeting in the near future as we're going to be getting more adjustments from after the legislature. So the first one, let's make sure we're on the right one. Yes. I'll read this just as a reminder. The School Board Association, they offer advisories to Section B in particular. That's the one they're focusing in right now on Policy Bridge. They're reorganizing it and consolidating it. So you're going to see compression and putting them into different policies, but they are contextually not that many changes. So, and obviously the legislature has their input, which that impacts it. So first one is BBA, Board Powers and Responsibilities. We recommend that we take their ASBA Policy Advisory number 822, and these are a collection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into one. They're proposing the removal of the rest of those from the manual, and the references are led to legislative, executive, and appraisal functions with a detailed list of the board responsibilities from ARS 15-341, and they cleaned it up a little bit more with some better subheadings. There are track changes in the board docs if you want to check those out. So, again, this is their recommendation. Any questions? Keep going. Policy BBD, the removal from office, we recommend as well that we follow ASBA's recommendation. In update makes a minor edit to item E, changing the word to he/she to clarify residence requirements for board members. So that's an addition of one word. BCA on ethics, we recommend that you again adopt the ASBA policy, which is in the advisory 829, fully updated, and legal reference was removed since the content is not based in statute. This is their recommendation. We recommend that we adopt it. And the last is BCB, conflict of interest. That one is Board Policy Advisory 830 from ASBA. It makes minor changes to ensure the alignment with statute. It's the Uniform System of Financial Records, as Heather will refer to as USFR. And again, more clarity through the adjustments. So no major changes with those, but those are the recommendations from ASB, and that's what we recommend as well.
Any comments or questions for Dr. Finch on those first 4 items? Hearing none, we'll go on to, I'm sorry?
Are we ever going to adopt policies by following our own policy on how to adopt policies? Because this is a board of 5, not a board of 6. And
That's a
5
preview.
individuals should be having the study session to discuss our policies the way we have always done. We should be actually involved in our policies. I'm just curious if we're going to. If not, are we just going to let the superintendent do whatever he wants with policies? Because not everything that's on today's agenda is ASBA. And this is the only board I know of in the state of Arizona that is undermining the board as itself. No other board is doing that, so I'm just curious if it's, and if it is, I'm one on the side of a 4-to-1 vote. I get that, but I'm curious, are we ever going to adopt our policies the way our policy says we're supposed to? Or is this a standard now?
So policy BG, I'll read this for the community, just so that they can understand the process. No, we are not a board of 6 or a board of 5 elected by the community. Policy BG reads, "It is the intent of the board to adopt policies so that they may serve as guidelines for its own operations and for the successful and efficient functioning of the district. Policy adoption is one of the board's chief responsibilities. Suggestions regarding the content of policies may originate with a member of the board, the superintendent, a staff member, a parent, a student, a consultant, a civic group, or any resident of the district. A careful and orderly process shall be used in examining such proposals. The policy proposals shall be referred to the administration for detailed study prior to recommendations being provided to the board. The board may take action in accordance with the policy BGB after hearing the superintendent's recommendations. The policies of the board are framed and intended to be interpreted within the context of applicable laws and regulations. Changes in needs, conditions, purposes, and objectives may require revisions, deletions, and additions to the policies. The districts will welcome suggestions for ongoing policy review and revision." So that is our policy on how we go about reviewing and discussing policies. So it's available for anybody. Dr. Pack, yes?
I just have a question on this. When we do the preview, like last meeting, we previewed the first however many policies, and then we can ask questions then, but since it's a preview, we can think about it and ask questions later when it's an action item. So I had some questions, and I emailed the questions, and I got an answer, but then I had another question. Granted, it was an hour before the meeting. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what about that? I want to ask that question. So I pull it off the consent agenda. It's one of the board policies, and then it was voted down, so I never got the answer to my question. So I'm trying to hurry up and think of any questions right now during the preview, because I don't feel like I'm gonna have an opportunity to ask any follow-up questions at the action item. Because if it's not put in action item, it's put in a consent agenda, then I don't get to ask any more questions on our policies. So am I missing something?
No, you're not missing anything. So I'm sorry, Ms. Fisher, the question was directed towards the board president, so let me answer it, please. So policy BGB, a first meeting or study session, the proposal shall be presented for review and discussion. And so B is where sometimes we get into the weeds with people thinking that maybe we're not doing it right, and I'll read that to you. Second meeting must be at least 14 days after the first meeting or at the next regularly scheduled meeting, whichever is later. The proposal shall be presented for discussion and action. So what we've been doing for quite some time is it gets presented, and 2 weeks later, it comes back for a vote. It can be discussed. It can be pulled off of consent if the greater majority of the board wants to pull it off consent. But the reason it's on consent, and some folks don't understand this, but this is a business meeting, and so in a business meeting, if there's not the expectation that an item needs to be rehashed or rediscussed, then it would go under consent agenda because there's been no pushback to the item during the 2 weeks during which we've had to digest this. So it's been going on consent just as a matter of an efficient business meeting. So that would be the answer that I can give you. If that's not the direction that the board wants to go moving forward, then we can sure discuss it. But at this point, the board's been working under that pretense for quite some time now, and that's just the way we've been handling it to try to maintain efficient board meetings. I do apologize that you had a question about one of the policies and that your request wasn't passed, but that would be why it goes under consent.
That's inaccurate. This board has always had a study session where we actually discussed our policies. We looked at what was appropriate for our community, for our employees, for our board. And we worked together, which is why a lot of these were changed. Putting in the second meeting requirement was due to a policy change that was not well thought out in 2015, which would have harmed the superintendent at the time, Dr. Weitenheimer. And we came back and we corrected it because it was contradictory to his contract. We have always done it that way up until the last probably about 5 years or so, when the superintendent took over the operation of the board. Since that time, it has been hidden in consent agenda. Your policy should never be in consent. When you go to the law conference, I just encourage you to ask all these questions, because it is not the way it should be operating. It's not the way it has ever operated. And some of the policies, Mr. Carver and Mr. Finch meet outside of the board and make their changes, and then they have been just bringing them. It's not, they weren't discussed with us. They're just done, and then they're put on consent, and we should be allowed to take them off
So
consent.
that was categorically incorrect. Mr. Carver brought the suggestion to the superintendent as it states in policy. The superintendent then put it on the agenda. The board discussed it as it says in BGB. We had 14 days that went to the consent agenda because nobody else had any issues with it. Does anybody else?
That's
Dr.
not
Finch?
how policy works, but.
Okay. Dr. Galligan, letter E.
Can I just say something?
Yes, I'm sorry, Stephanie, I didn't see.
Yeah, so like I did have questions about a policy, and I had over the last few days used that time to go through those and understand it, and reached out to different members in my own community, as well as I requested to have it taken off consent agenda with reason. What I think we're witnessing in these pulling all of these chunks of consent or policies off of consent is that it's allowing us to just have discussions on things that are not, like you said, this being a business meeting. We need to run through and move forward. If we're changing it by adding a word like she, for example, why is that being pulled? So I think we're trying to be very businesslike in this way, and also use that 14 days, not the hour before sending the questions, use that 14 days to figure out the answer. And if you still cannot get that, by all means, reach out to the board president and explain your concerns and have it removed. But to list a group of policies that are no-brainers that we've had 14 days to review and ask questions on, and then to get to a meeting and say, let's pull all of them and discuss them, is not efficient.
Thank you, Ms. Simichek.
An open meeting law.
Dr. Galligan?
President Carver.
I'm sorry, one second. There's a conversation going on between board members.
I didn't have hidden meetings. What are you talking about?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Galligan.
President Carver, members of the board. Policy CFD adds a sentence at the beginning that says that we shall establish a school council at each school, and then it also talks about an exception for small districts, which we are not. We recommend that we would follow the recommendations here. Policy IHA is really just a change in what we do on 9/11 in instructing our students about September 11th terrorist attack. It now gives us specific grades that we provide that instruction, and that's grades 7 through 12, and that's the main change there. Thank you.
Any questions for Dr. Galligan on these? Hearing none, we'll go to Dr. McCusker for item G.
Good evening, Governing Board, President Carver, Governing Board members, and Dr. Finch and the community. This evening, I'm going to be discussing two policies. The first is JLDAB. This is a continuing policy that we are including additional information on. We work, as you know, with agencies like Southwest Behavioral Health and Services that Dr. Galligan spoke about this evening. And what the new policy revision actually outlines is that a parent has the opportunity and the right to opt in and opt out of the service delivery. So that is a clarification, and we are updating exhibits to also reflect that. Policy JLC, Student Health Services and Requirements. This is a policy that is being updated to outline our responsibilities as a school district, as well as charter schools, for routine healthcare responsibilities, which would also include an emergency response to any type of emergency that could happen in our health offices. As well, it also provides guidance that we are not to release personally identifiable information, for example, about our school nurses, their addresses, their phone numbers, and whatnot. Policy JLCD is a common repeat for revision, as you may remember, medicines and administering medicines to students. And there has been an update to this policy regarding language. And currently it reads auto-injectable epinephrine. And there is a new delivery system for epinephrine that actually includes sublabial delivery, which is underneath the tongue. And so ASBA is recommending that we just expand our definition of how to deliver epinephrine.
Thank you, Dr. McCusker. Any questions for Dr. McCusker on these three items? Thank you, ma'am. Next item on the agenda, call to the public. Dr. Pack.
If I could have Mia and Ali Riccatelli approach the microphone, but I need to read this first. The board invites public comment on the district's business in general and on any agenda item in specific. All speakers must observe the rules of decorum. Speakers must fill out a card listing name, address, and topic and hand it to the board secretary prior to the president calling the meeting to order. Speakers must make their comments in no more than 3 minutes. If necessary, to accommodate all speakers within the 30-minute overall limit, the board president may shorten each speaker's time. Constructive criticism is in order. Rudeness, vulgarity, disruptive conduct, or remarks disrespecting personal dignity are not in order and will not be allowed. Under the Arizona Open Meeting Law, the governing board cannot discuss or act on any items not listed on the board members may respond to criticism made by a speaker, ask staff to review a matter, or ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. Please state your name before you speak. Thank you.
One second for me. Let's get the mics turned on for you.
I don't think they're turned on.
I think you're right.
Those?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mia. I'm Allie. We're 6th grade students from West Wing Elementary School, and we're here to talk to you about starting the school year later in the year. We have many reasons why we should start the school year later in the year instead of early August. When we have heat advisor, we have indoor recess. Kids don't get out their energy, and no teacher wants that. Students are really hyper and won't listen much. Kids overheat really easy, and when kids overheat, they do not want to learn. They're also grumpy. People miss the first couple days of school because they're on vacation. They will be tired when they get back from vacation. They will lose another day of learning.
Teachers have to stand outside in the heat doing their duties, and they can overheat too. When air conditioners break, everyone's grumpy. Sometimes it can take a while for them to get fixed. These are some of the reasons why we should start school later in the year.
It just gets too hot in July and early August.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your patience.
If I could please have Jean Castine step up, please.
Good evening, President Carver, Superintendent Finch, Governing Board and staff. I'm here tonight to speak about LifeWise Academy and the club.
Sorry, could you state your name for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Jeannie Castine.
Thank you.
I don't live in the district. I'm here tonight to speak about LifeWise Academy and the club. It is advertising on the LifeWise website and on social media. Their promotion of this gives the impression that Deer Valley was instrumental in bringing this to students and families in the district, even though I've been assured by staff that it's not, and that's a huge relief, because the LifeWise ideology is something that shouldn't be anywhere near a public school district. When you visit their website, the very first thing you'll notice is that they want to indoctrinate students with their religious and political ideologies during school hours. This organization has perfected its ability to get into schools with little to zero attention and charge heavily for their indoctrination program. This nonprofit's annual budget was just $150,000 in 2020, and it's now around $42 million annually. And they're auctioning off Deer Valley students on their Facebook page at $30 student sponsorships. They also use very interesting fundraising methods designed to allow extremely wealthy large donors to make donations anonymously, and many public donations come from groups that have a track record of hate. When you look at their model for growth, it resembles a multi-level marketing structure, and the founder compared their growth model to fast food franchising. It seems they see public school students as dollar signs in an otherwise untapped market. Their curriculum is derived from the Southern Baptist Convention, an organization that in 2022 was found to have protected over 700 child sex abusers and pedophiles. In March, the current DOJ ended their investigation of the SBC and their abuse of children, despite plenty of evidence and even admissions of guilt. So not only do they use that curriculum from an organization that historically protects pedophiles, it also indoctrinates students into believing that LGBTQ people and Jewish people are going to hell, and encourages them to take these biased, discriminatory messages to their classmates and indoctrinate them into their ideologies. The pastor who's running this program in Deer Valley has posted on his social media that Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Methodists, among many others, are demonic perversions of Christianity. I worry about this religious indoctrination negatively affecting the LDS student population and any others on the Mountain Ridge campus. Given their own messaging, this doesn't seem like a group that should be around children at all. I hope that this board use this as an opportunity to tighten their own policies when it comes to outside groups coming to the district. I encourage you to consider parental consent and parental rights when allowing groups in DV that could espouse such divisive and exclusionary ideologies. Better yet,
Thank you, Ms.
don't let
Castine.
them in at all. Thank you.
That's it for public comment? Okay. Governing board reports. Ms. Simichek?
Thank you, and thank you to our speakers for coming today. It's really nice when we get students coming in and sharing their opinion and speaking to us. It's important, so thank you for being here. Thank you for pointing out what I too have picked up on social media with the LifeWise organization. What it comes down to for me is, well, it comes down to several things, but one is really just the idea of bringing hate into our public schools and using our students as pawns so that an organization can make millions of dollars off of them. And I have reviewed the policy on allowing our children to be released for religious services throughout the day. My concern here is the liability on the school. It was compared to, let's say, for example, in my understanding of LifeWise, they will bring a van onto the campus and pick up children and bring them back. Those people who are operating those vehicles have had no background training. Many have been accused of horrible, awful things with children, and there's no accountability or transparency of those individuals that are coming to our campuses and picking up our students. Now, I understand that we have drivers that come and pick up our students after school for after school programs and childcare, and those as well in the morning, so pre and post after school hours. That to me, I don't compare to somebody coming in during school hours that is going to be bringing this in. And what I see happening with this is that students are being used. They might join this program. They're told, bring a friend next time, encourage them to come, you get a golden ticket. And of course, Johnny wants that golden ticket, so he goes back and starts recruiting his friends to join this organization. And that's how LifeWise works, and it's how it's been working, and it's making millions of dollars public schools. I really think it's important here that, and we've had to bring things like this up at the legislature, how extreme do we want to get? If someone was coming in and offering a program that removed kids during the day and had a van to come and bring and do so, that was teaching satanic rituals with a parent's consent, it would be okay. We would have a problem with this. I have a problem with this. I will not allow hate to be spewed into our communities, our public education communities. I will not allow children to be indoctrinated and then brought back to our schools to preach a message to other students off of the backs so that this particular company can make tons of money and spew hate within our organization, within our public schools. So I understand what the policy says. So what I would like to request based off of this is that we have a policy review on this, that we take the time to clean it up. Because once we start allowing these little things to happen and chip away, they will continue. Why do you think we are where we are with certain issues of ESA vouchers? When people do not speak up and say, no, this is not acceptable, it's like saying yes. Sure, we'll allow it to happen. So tonight, while understanding the policy, I get that. I get it. But my job as a board member is to take care of our students, and that's what I'm here to do. So I will not allow someone to come in and chip away at public education that way. That has already been handled, has been done for years and years in the state of Arizona. This is just another tactic to chip away. We start real small, and then it gets bigger and bigger. And then we say to ourselves, how did this happen? This is how it happens. Slowly, very slowly, we have organizations that come in and disrupt our communities this way so that they can have not only their opinions, but also to make money off of our children. So I will not stand back and allow this to happen without speaking to my community about it. My suggestion is that we go back in our policy and tighten it up, because this is unacceptable for our students. I wanted to be able to share my board report about the schools I visited over the past week and all those wonderful things, but this, to me, is an alarm. And so I'm not going to jump into those things tonight, but I'm going to bring attention to our community. I hope people hear this and that are and encourage my board to tighten the policy on allowing students to leave off campus for religious services during hours, especially when we are risking the health and safety of our children. I also would like to very quickly mention that we had heard from Kid in the Corner 2 weeks ago at our meeting. We had several other board members support a presentation that would help teach us more about suicide prevention and solutions for our students, and that is yet to be on the agenda. So I am again requesting that that be placed on the agenda, or at least to have a session, a special session where they can come and present the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simichek. Mrs. Fisher.
Well, it's an interesting evening, apparently. It's been an interesting month, several weeks. There's a lot of misinformation out there in the public, specifically regarding ESAs. And unfortunately, individuals have taken to attacking my special needs son as a result. While I understand there may be a lot of employees who've loved my son for the last 20 years that may have left, I still think that there's a lot of employees in this district that love my son and would not appreciate it, and I definitely do not. So I'm asking that my son be kept out of the conversation of individuals who know nothing about him, nothing about his ESA, or what we got or didn't get. By the way, nobody gets money at home for their ESA. It is very difficult to even use. The second thing that was brought to me is I understand Mr. Carver has been operating within the district, and took the superintendent, county superintendent on a tour. While it is not inappropriate for the county superintendent to go of our district, it is inappropriate for a board member to be the one to take them. That's just campaigning on district property. The biggest problem with that isn't that he's campaigning, it's that people were confused. So for the community, I already answered the question for some. No, Deer Valley is not considering leaving West Meck and going to Evett. It doesn't work that way. It's kind of like you go to the school you're assigned to. West Meck is on the west side, Deer Valley is part of West Meck. Evett is on the east side. You know, Steady is down in Yuma. I mean, there's JTEDs and CTEDs all over the place, and there's a structure. We're not going to jump ship. It's a much larger process. If we're going to look at anything regarding CTE coursework, I love to see how Phoenix Union does it because they're not attached to any JTED. They just do it themselves. I don't know what that funding looks like. I didn't deal with that. But right now we offer great coursework for our kids. We are part of West Meck. That's not changing. Your kids' coursework is secure. Dr. Galligan, I'm sure, will make sure that it stays secure, and Heather will make sure that she keeps the West Meck relationship strong, and we'll be great. So please don't worry about that. It's not something happening. We all got an email about an employee who was put through an investigation for saying a bad word. I don't know whether that's true or not because we're never informed about these things. I think as a board we need to ask that question though, because we sat here as Miss Ordway used the Lord's name in vain, which to me is worse than any bad word. So if it is true that employees are being investigated for something like that or having things happen to them, we as a governing board should know, we should ask. Attached to that would be the same legal request I've been asking. Historically, we have always known what lawsuits were brought against us. We've always known a status. We've had a legal update. We don't get that anymore. And since we don't even have to sign for when we're served, they're just served, we're not even guaranteed we'll know we're served. And so I really am asking that we get that legal review spreadsheet back up so at least board members are informed about what is happening. I was also told, and I don't know whether it's true or not, so I would like to know, again, in this area of legal, about a case that was resolved, that we lost, and it was resolved regarding a strip search. I don't know that that's true or not, but we should know, and I would like to know. My final request is something I have also been requesting, is I appreciate that we see the voucher cover sheet, but there is a document that goes behind it that basically is what there is. I am asking that that is uploaded with the voucher cover sheet. The board should be aware of what we are paying, and that is the best way for board members to be informed. Many districts have sent it to all their governing board members. I'm just asking that it's put with the vouchers so that we see more than just a cover sheet. We have the actual information. And real fast, I have 3 seconds. You ladies did a great job. If you could get on the committee and not only express whether the time, but what time of day, because I'm hearing students complain about the time of day too. So.
Thank you, Mrs. Fisher. Mr. Botfeld.
First, my compliments to the two young ladies who spoke. Very well done. Thank you. I had the honor of meeting with 4 principals this week. And by the way, every one of you sitting right there was mentioned by a principal at least once. There were 3 takeaways from those 4 meetings. First, creativity. Unbelievable creativity. I actually had one of the principals have to go into a room that the air conditioning wasn't working, and she fixed it. She did it. Wow. I'm impressed. The second thing that you take away from it beyond creativity is intelligence. They understand that the system works well when their kids are doing well. And the third takeaway is every single one of them was for the override and land sale. Why? Well, the air conditioning problem was one result, obviously. When I talked about creativity, I forgot to mention that some of these places look like they're in urban areas, but they're really rural. And I actually had one of the principals who's going to work on getting farming across the board. We live in an interesting time. By the way, that's a Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. You knew that, Marcia. That's my wife over there. The bottom line is this, folks. We are living in interesting times, and those principles are making those times better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bodfield. Dr. Pack.
So, not to be redundant, but thank you for the students that spoke today. And without commenting on anything that's not in the agenda, I had recess duty today, and I'm still drinking water. I think I'm dehydrated. It is hot out there. I review all these vouchers, and let me tell you, small amount of trees, big amount of trees, big stack of paper. But when I was at the ASBA, one of the ASBA trainings, one of the other members from another school district was on his phone, and he was doing his vice president duties, checking the vouchers. I'm like, wait, how do you do that? So some districts have it where it's electronic, and that would actually be kind of good, because then I could do it at 3 a.m. when I wake up and can't sleep. And then our other board members could actually see what's behind the vouchers that I sign. Having said that, I go through every single voucher, and if there's something I don't know, I send a question. So I thought maybe I'd educate some more people about what I learned, because if I don't know it, maybe you don't know it. One of the vouchers on today's item letter O, that was on the consent agenda, is a flight team coordinator, and that was money paid to someone in the district to be a flight team coordinator. And what is that, do you say? That's what I asked. So the flight team coordinator, of course he or she would know, but everybody else, is responsible for providing support to our students and staff in times of crisis. Examples of these types of situations occur when a student or staff member passes away and counseling support is needed at a school. The flight team coordinator arranges for counselors to swarm to a school in high emotional need and provides coaching support to campus leaders. So that person gets paid for that, so good. All right, and then another item on the previous consent agenda was the chemical hygiene officer. That was another addendum pre-approval. So what is a chemical hygiene officer? It's the person who ensures safe use, storage, and disposal of hazardous chemicals in science classrooms, and often required under OSHA. So I guess I appreciate that that's there, so our kids are safe and teachers are safe. Also, another thing I'd like to mention is in my conversations with Dr. Finch when I'm signing vouchers and we meet once a month, I asked and inquired, as community members had asked me, after looking at other school board organizational charts. There's the school board, there's the school, and then there's the superintendent, and then above the superintendent is the school board, and above the school board is the community. And so I was asking if we could have that on our organizational chart. And if you go there now, it's there. So thank you for doing that. Some people are a little concerned because it was stuck over here, which I get size and paper, but if you watch an org chart, you start at the left and it goes down. So while the board has one employee, Dr. Finch, the board has to report to the public, since we're elected officials. So the public is like our boss, and we're like your boss. So I appreciate that was put on there. And our names are even in the boxes, so that's kind of cool. So thank you. And then one last thought, perhaps we as a board need to revisit BGB adoption policy, since we have so much angst or questions or uncertainty on how policies are adopted. So I would ask that we maybe discuss that as a board when the time is appropriate. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Pack. Couple things for me. Yes, last Wednesday, actually quite some time ago, I extended an invitation to our County Superintendent of Public Instruction, Shelley Boggs, to see if she would be interested in coming out and seeing some of our schools, specifically some of our high schools, specifically some of our CTE courses. The thought process behind all that was that I know that Miss Boggs used to be on the EVIT board in the East Valley. CTE is near and dear to her heart. And I know that there's a lot of angst going on in the East Valley with EVIT and the school districts over there. And I wanted to showcase some of the awesomeness that Deer Valley Unified School District has. And so I thought, what better way than to go straight to the person that needs to know? And so Miss Boggs came out with two of her assistants, and we toured Boulder Creek and Sandra Day and Barry Goldwater. And during the course of that, we saw the engineering class, and Mr. Baxley gave a very well detailed description of the class and the successes that the class has and the 4 different Helios awarded instructors that we have on that campus. The ties with Embry-Riddle and the ASU engineering department that particular classroom has. From Boulder Creek, we went down to Sandra Day and we took a tour of the sports medicine lab, and we West Mech grant that was given to Sandra Day some time ago so that we could expand the facility there and outfit it with some of the best equipment in the state when it comes to a sports medicine facility. We have a better facility than some sports teams by most folks' descriptions. And then we also went up to go visit our ROTC Corps, our award-winning ROTC Corps out there at Sandra Day. And they really enjoyed speaking to the cadets and they got to show off all of their trophies. They pointed out the simulator, thank you, the flight simulators that we have up there, and they discussed and the recent addition of the archery capability that the unit has. And then from there we went on down to Barry Goldwater. We visited Avenue 27. Totally blew their minds. They did not know that something like that existed, much less in DVUSD, and they're looking forward to scheduling as many meetings as they can have in the North Valley at Avenue 27 after they open up for business. So that was a great visit when they saw the different things that the kids can do and the services that are available there. We also visited the building trades classroom and reviewed everything that's been going on there, and it's now second year. They have a waiting list by all accounts of kids that want to get into that class. And we took a walk down the CTE hallway where we noticed that we have a CTE law enforcement and CTE broadcasting, and the list just goes on and on. Deer Valley partners with West Mech to the tune of, I believe it's 53 various assorted CTE programs. So we are heavily invested in the CTE program, and that needed to be shared with the people at the county level. So that they could be aware of the successes that we have here at DVSD. There are districts throughout the state, indeed throughout the country, that can't even begin to have the kind of successes that we have. So we need to do a better job at making sure that the people that help determine the abilities that our district has, they need to be aware of how amazing the district is so that we can continue to be that place for the community and for the kids. The last thing that we did at Barry Goldwater is, of course, show them Annie's Closet. And I would be lying if I said that there weren't tears in the room when we got to Annie's Closet, and we described the process that goes on in developing one of those facilities, how many facilities we have, how it works, and that the TSW kids have taken over that. One of the folks that were on the tour has a child that participated in a program similar to that in a different location. She knew exactly what we were talking about, and just thought how amazing it is that we accomplished so many things with that one idea. Other thing, just real quick in my last few seconds here, I have been accepted into the FBI Citizens Academy for the fall class here in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's an 8-session academy. We've completed 3 of the sessions, and at the last session they gave us a tour of the facility up here on Deer Valley. We got to do a little bit of virtual live fire training. It was kind of surprising to me how quickly citizens are willing to shoot people without knowing what threat. But we expect so much more out of our law enforcement, right? So it's a good experience. We talk a lot of law, we talk a lot of case law, and so on and so forth. But anyway, that's my time. Appreciate you guys. Take care. Dr. Finch.
I'll start out with thanking the IS&T folks in the back corridor there behind the door and the glass. It's been an interesting meeting. We've been fighting our tech, and it's actually new tech, and that's part of the problem. It has to marry up with old technology. So thanks to the folks in the back that are trying to make this work. I have a grocery list here, so I'll start from the top. The AD, we did a presentation, I guess would be the right word, at ADE. Mr. Horn asked the O'Connor Beach volleyball students to come in and receive their four-peat state championship rings from O'Connor in that venue. So that was quite the celebration. That's I guess that's a new angle that Mr. Horn would like to do, bring more public school students to the building. And so that was pretty neat to see that. The kids were really excited, and they got donuts out of the deal too. They like that. I'm currently making the laps around the school district, trying to get to all of the teachers that have outstanding growth, or the highest learning growth quartile. There are 83 of them, so I've been putting a lot of miles on the car, trying to get to all of the buildings. I'm about halfway, so I haven't been to your school yet. I'm probably tomorrow or the following day. Just another great celebration. Believe it or not, the kid that was struck on his e-bike by a big truck went to school today. And that, as our nurse says, that was a miracle. And there's no other explanation. So congrats to the youngster, and obviously thanks to the students that are helping support him and the staff. We had our interfaith meeting on the 13th. We had our largest number since our COVID days. Another interesting fact, Dr. Finch is going to hit 5,000 classrooms this week. And so that number, I try to get to 500 every year, and number 5,000 is coming across the count. So we'll hand out cookies for that too. But I don't think I'm going to be around for 50,000. So that's the only thing we're going to celebrate. We have Student Advisory Council. We have about 80 students that come to this room. We had our first meeting of the year, and that one there works on a leadership summit in the spring. I'm pretty excited to do that. All the schools are come to be a part of that. The Soup Scoop podcast, we interviewed 2 administrators. Make sure you check it out. One from Goldwater, one from Desert Sky. In this very room, on Friday, we're going to have about 100 administrators online, superintendents online for ASA or in person, and that's always a good meeting. NEVIC and EFRG, those are those 2 groups that I'm involved with that lobby down at the legislature. We're working on our issues for this coming legislature, and so if you have any thoughts, get them to me and I can pass them along. Fine arts and athletics have started. I believe Friday night lights are coming up, so make sure you get out to those. And as board members too, you have your little pass. You can sneak in there, and if I'm there, I bring you down the field. If you want to be quarterback, I might even be able to get you in. So just run fast. Those kids are pretty big. It's believe it or not, I believe this is true. It says on my notes that Mr. Boppel's birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday. I would sing for you, but not today. 28 and holding. Nice. We have Labor Day weekend coming up. No school on Monday. The ASB Law Conference, there was mentioned around here as well. That's a good conference. That'll be attending next week. I'll be in and out to that one. The next board meeting is on the 9th. We're going to start up our usual celebrations for awards. So if you want to check those out, you can come early. We will have awards pretty much from here on out because unfortunately or fortunately, Deer Valley wins everything. So we have to always have a lot of awards. So if you want to see some cool stuff, come check it out half hour before the next meeting on the 9th. Anything else in my notes? Oh, got a couple seconds left. OC band instructor today found out he was teacher of the month by 94.5 FM, and I think he got some money, like $1,000 or something. So congratulations to OC band. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Finch. Future board meetings are listed on the Deer Valley website, school district website. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Good night.